Hey everybody, it's Peter, and this is the 2024 Can-Am Spyder RT Sea to Sky. This is as good as it gets from Can-Am's three-wheel department, and in this video we're going to do a complete walk-around review of all the details on this. Now the reason we're doing a walk-around review and not a riding review is because I'm able to show you some things that other people aren't able to show you when they're doing the riding review, but I'm filming here at Torque Motorsports, Extreme Torque Motorsports here in Fredericton. There's two other locations in New Brunswick. If you are anywhere in New Brunswick, they've got you covered on everything Can-Am. They're experts in these vehicles, and I will have future videos of on this vehicle, on other vehicles like it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave us some positive comments, because the more traction we get on these things, the more they see and the more it helps me, which means the more it helps you. Of course, I'm not the expert on this nearly as much as they are. So if there's a question you have that I don't get to in this video, that's another great reason to subscribe, because you can let me know in the comments below. And if I don't know it, I'll find out from these guys, because they are absolute experts on it. Really good dealership here. And they'll let me know. I'll make sure I get it on video for you. So even if you're outside of New Brunswick, great reason to subscribe. But you tuned in not to hear about that, you tuned in to hear about this vehicle, so let's get going on this review. So let's briefly talk about what this is and my own personal biases. My own bias is I view this from a motorcycle lens. Now I did a video of other ones in the past, and there's been some debate in the comments about whether it's a motorcycle or not a motorcycle. Feel free to have that debate in the comments. I'm gonna come to it from a motorcycling perspective. A lot of people say, you know, it's not because it doesn't have, two wheels, sure. A lot of people say a car has a steering wheel, this doesn't have a steering wheel. Whatever you wanna do, you call it whatever you wanna call it. The reason I look at it like a motorcycle is because I think a lot of people buy cars for really practical reasons, but something like this, you view a touring motorcycle not just for the motorcycle, but you view the trips and the experiences you're going to have with it. And that's where I think this thing really stands out. You're really dreaming about the types of things you can do with it as much as you're dreaming about the vehicle itself. And that's why I like the Sea to Sky name. Of course, Can-Am is a Canadian company, and a very famous highway in Canada, out in BC, is the Sea to Sky Highway, which takes you from the Pacific Ocean up to the Rocky Mountains, and it is super scenic. And the beautiful thing about something like this, which is the same as a motorcycle, is you have a completely unobstructed view. Even with a full face helmet on, there's no blind spots, there's no A pillar, B pillar, C pillar like a car would have, and you can see everything. And when you think about the Sea to Sky Highway, sometimes you're looking down to the ocean, sometimes you're looking up to the mountain ranges, and this thing is absolutely perfect for that. The other thing that's kind of cool about this is you can have a lot of temperature swing in a Sea to Sky Highway, and of course you can dress for the weather on any motorcycle, but this one is kind of cool with your heated seats and heated grips and heated rear seats and all kinds of things on there. And this Sea to Sky Highway, just like the Sea to Sky Highway is kind of a pinnacle highway in Canada, the Sea to Sky name here is a pinnacle kind of vehicle for Can-Am. It's really the top of the top. So we're gonna talk about some of the features that make this model unique, but I wanna touch on one quick detail before we start zooming in and looking at everything really closely. This has a mocha color to it. They call it mocha, M-O-K-A, not M-O-C-H-A, like mocha as in chocolate. I view it as a type of bronze. One thing I will tell you right off the bat is the color you're seeing on the camera for both the seats and the wheels and those kinds of things, it doesn't match the color in person. And I can tell you the color in person is phenomenal. It really looks rich. And to me, Can-Am Spyders have moved up the way, especially the RT model, have moved up a little bit in pricing. It's kind of worth it to go for this, because once you get to the point that you're at the midline range or even the lower leg, you add a few options, and you kind of end up pretty much at this anyways. But this one has unique features not available on the model below, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So when I do a motorcycle review, I always start at the front wheel, and I start talking about how you can tell the manufacturer's intent by looking at the front wheel. And of course, this is not a motorcycle in that sense, but we should look at the front wheel. First of all, you see the Spyder symbol, that sort of three red marks there, that's the Spyder symbol. There's a lot of threes in this. Of course, the three wheels, the three lug nuts there. These wheels, of course, are custom to the Spyder itself. And, so is the tires. Actually, the tires are, they say, for special motorcycle use only. So the tires are made specially for it. The wheels are made specially for it with the three lug nuts. And then there's Brembo brakes. And a lot of people talk about Brembo brakes like these are only on performance vehicles and these are Brembo brakes. One of the things that, and again, I'm just as guilty about that, but one of the keys with the Brembo brakes on this is, like the wheels and like the tires, these Brembo brakes are made specifically for this unit. So again, as I talked about that cost kind of moving up over the years, you're getting a lot, but you're really having a sort of bespoke item here. This is not shared parts with a Ducati or something like that. This is specific brakes for these. Now, anytime Brembo makes brakes, what you have is something that's very good at dissipating heat. And of course, if you think about a sea to sky highway coming down from the mountains to the sea, the sky to the sea, there's a lot of braking involved in that. And of course, this can handle repeated braking. It's going to be well cooled. You can see the ventilated brakes in there, but Brembo brakes are very quality components. And that's really what this entire unit is quality components. And the sea to sky, of course, just shows that off even more than some of the other models. Let's take a look at the very front now. If you've seen my reviews before, you know I kind of geek out and nerd out about all the little details here, but one of the things I love about this view here is it shows a lot of kind of cool styling details, like this fin down here that doesn't really need to be there for anything other than style. I mean, sure, it might direct some wind, but it's just kind of cool, kind of hangs in there. When you see these details up close, it's part of what makes it unique and it looks special. Again, a three-wheeled vehicle does look special and unique just because it's on three wheels, but every detail of this looks pretty cool. You'll see the little sea to sky label right there. If you come up a little closer, you can see the intercool or the radiators in there. What you have here is something that is nice and low to the ground, so your center of gravity is low. Now you've got all the ground clearance you need. Again, the wheels are right at the front of the vehicle here, so you don't end up with ground clearance issues like you would on a car that is this low, because the overhang is almost non-existent. It's just a couple inches of overhang from the front wheel out forward, so you can get nice and low with this and handle you know, speed bumps and all those kinds of things. So it's a low center of gravity. And you can see just the double A-arm design of the suspension. Even though this isn't designed to be a sports car-like handling thing, just the inherent geometry of it gives you something that is sort of set up for very low body weight and a good side-to-side, you know, setup here, and centralized weight, which means it's just naturally going to handle well. And when you consider that most touring motorcycles are known for their lack of handling, you end up with something here that is more fun to drive, in my opinion, than a big touring motorcycle. Now, I get it, you don't have the same leaning sensation as a motorcycle, and if you want that, then this probably isn't for you. You lean into the turns a little bit differently on this, like you would on a car or like you would on an ATV, but it still has that sporty, fun riding feeling. Different than a motorcycle, but a lot of fun, and it's part of it's just down to basic geometry and basic physics to how it's set up. I've mentioned that this vehicle has evolved over time, and you can really see that in sort of the side profile here. There's a lot of nice flowing lines in this, and again, some of these things you just have to see in person to sort of see that there. We talked about sort of the front suspension design. It's been upgraded suspension over the years as it has been updated, and then you also have a rear suspension on this that is self-leveling rear suspension, so it can help level out the vehicle based on the rider weight and the passenger weight and the gear weight. Now, lower trim levels don't, or the various entry trim level does not come with that top box. This one, of course, has its standard, but you can still remove that to have sort of a cool little solo level look. We'll move in a little closer now to see some of the sea to sky stuff, but we should talk about the Rotax engine, so let's come in a little closer. There's not much to see, but we'll show you sort of some details as we get a little closer. So again, the fact that we're not riding this vehicle, we can show you some extra little details here. This is the right side of the vehicle still. We're just zoomed in a little closer now. You can see the Rotax label there to where I just pointed and lost focus there. Again, there's a lot of little details of three. So again, you've got the 1, 2, 3 pieces there. This is also a 3-cylinder engine. So the 3-cylinder 1330cc engine, a lot of threes in there as well. This is about 115 horsepower and 96 pound-feet of torque. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, only 115 horsepower. Hey, there's other bikes that have more horsepower. Again, this is designed as a touring rig, and most touring rigs, you're not running max horsepower on them. They're not sports bike derived engines. This engine works very well for what it's designed to do. You're not going to be out there, you know, competing with the, you know, Hayabusas of the world in the motorcycle world. This is designed to tour and to tour comfortably and well, and it really does do that. It's a well-matched engine to what you have here. And then again, you can see just the general RT stuff. I got my foot on here a little bit, a few too many times. I've got obviously some dirty feet, but you can see huge footboards here and a huge brake pedal there. That's because that is essentially the only control. There's no brake lever, there's no clutch lever. We'll talk about the transmission in a second, but that is your brake, the way this vehicle brakes. So it brakes all 3 wheels. Of course, it has ABS brakes, there's stability control, traction control, all kinds of things on this, and an ABS brake system that's designed to work with the 3-wheel system. So again, bespoke to this 3-wheel designed Spyder, all of those things there. So you can see large foot pads there. You can put your foot beside the brake or on the brake. That's how that works. There is a transmission on this. It is a 6-speed transmission that you shift without a clutch. You upshift using your thumb, and you downshift it'll downshift on its own, or you can choose to downshift. We're going to show you that as we move a little closer. Let's roll back here a little bit. We'll take a look at the rear foot pegs there. And now I'm going to just jump on the seats and show you a few things there, to show you rider position and passenger position. So one thing people are surprised about is when you walk up to this, it kind of feels like a big motorcycle, but it's still a very narrow, very small overall vehicle. So while it has some nice presence on the road for a motorcycle type vehicle, it's still very nimble and very small on the road. But the seating position is what really does it for me. You can get on from either side, of course. You don't have to do anything. The Sea to Sky Highway has a backrest here. We're going to show you that, and it fits me perfectly. I'm about 6 feet tall, and it's sitting there right where I need it. I've got a bit of a funny back, and this is comfortable. And sometimes you think, oh, why do I need a backrest on there? It's the way you're kind of handling around. But on a longer ride, again, you can set the cruise control, you could rest a hand, you can lean back. For me, I would roll the handlebars just a hair back. That is an adjustment you can do here, and it would set me kind of just back like this, and I would be perfect on there. Brake pedals right there, and again, no hand grips to pull, but you can see I'm very comfortable here. Now, this windshield is adjustable. I think it's in the lower position now. I haven't checked to say if it's in the lowest possible position, but it can kind of send wind right over you, or it's going to send wind mostly around you, just over the top of the helmet. It is a vented windshield, so there's holes in there. That's a really important piece on anything with a large windshield. A lot of these big touring bikes have this huge windshield, and all it does is create a negative air draft space in here, which actually sucks you forward. So again, it would suck you away from this backrest. What those air vents do is they allow some air to come through, so there's still some air in here coming, and then it doesn't create the negative, the suction behind the windshield. So what that means is you have a nice peaceful environment to drive in, which helps in poor weather as well. If it's raining or if it's cold, you're very good. We should talk about rain. You can see my feet are fully covered by that piece there. You're going to stay much drier than you think you would, even though you're sort of around the wheels there. Obviously rain gear is necessary, but it's not so bad to go through some puddles and other stuff compared to some motorcycles. You've got really good coverage. The seating position is all day comfortable, still sporty. You can use your knees like a motorcycle to kind of hang on to tuck into corners. Now again, you're not leaning the same way in corners, but the vehicle stays level. You lean into the corners a little bit if you want to go quicker. But again, that backrest has a curl to it, so it gives you that sort of sports car style feel of holding you in place. So that's the driver's seat. You can see very comfortable, lots of room to move your feet anywhere you want to. And then of course there's the passenger seat. So I'm going to jump in that as well. Now I'm going to just jump over that rear seat there. You can fold this down as well, so you can put that out of the way, but we're going to leave it up like that. And this one, again, as a 6-footer, these armrests are just a hair low for me. If you're a hair shorter than me, you're probably going to sit in there nice. And this thing, again, has the same thing. So it sits perfectly on my back here, exactly where I need it in my lumbar, and it wraps around my body to feel very comfortable. Armrest, something to hold on to here as well. And they have handles in there, so your hands can grip all the way around as well. You can see a 6-footer could easily sit behind a 6-footer. Getting on or off is very simple. You just step to the foot pegs and step off. And of course, the vehicle is not going to tip no matter you get on or off, so the passenger can just get on without the rider even being there. It's just such a practical vehicle, very, very comfortable. But let's take a closer look at some of the Sea to Sky details here by coming in a little closer. So I've got a little bit of sunshine coming through right over here, and I've got a little bit of shade coming everywhere else. It's, again, the camera right now, as I'm looking at the camera before I've even touched any color correction and editing, it's not matching exactly what I see in real life. This is a really nice complementary color. As we zoom into the seat a little bit, let's go right in here. You can see the complementary stitching. First of all, where your legs wrap, it's still leather down there, which is kind of nice. We're going to zoom in here just a little bit. Actually, let's just zoom in a little bit more. You can see a perforation, and you can see the stitching there. It's quality stuff. The perforation doesn't really look to me like it goes right through, so it looks like more of a styling detail, not something that's going to get a lot of things stuck. As we scroll up a little bit, you can sort of see the little bit of detail in this suede kind of area. I don't know what its actual material is, but it kind of looks suede-y leather. It's got some character in there. You can sort of see the kind of lines below the Sea to Sky, of course the Sea to Sky label. Scrolling up to that backrest that is part of the Sea to Sky, again, you can sort of see that curve where it wraps around there and that Spyder symbol on the top of the seat there. We're going to come out a little bit here as we zoom to the back seat. Again, sharp bolsters there, or not sharp as in uncomfortable, but just solid bolsters there. And you can sort of see where I talked about wrapping my hand around here. There is a space there for my fingers to fit into on that rear armrest there. And also, if you were ever to take those off, you have still down here the extra handholds there that are really good for grabbing as well, that are very rubberized, nice feel there as well. So a lot of good stuff there in this Sea to Sky seat. Let me just flip you to the other side of the vehicle now, and we'll show you some of the controls that the rear passenger has access to. All right, so I've got the camera fully wide angle right now, so it's a little bit skewed at the edges, sort of a fishbowl kind of look, but we're gonna zoom straight into the center right here on a weird angle, but hopefully we can see what I'm talking about. So there are your heated grips and your heated seats. So you've got the options there for multiple levels of heated grips and heated seats. Now, which grips are we talking about? Let's zoom out a little bit. These are the ones that are heated right here. Now, one thing that the other piece of the controls that the rear seat passenger has, as we come back out one more time, you can see there's a little lever there below these armrests. So this here allows those armrests to shift in and out, which again, maybe you just want to shift it out to get in and out of the vehicle a little easier. Maybe you want them shifted in or out as you're riding just for comfort, but you can move them yourself whenever you want, both the left side and the right side. So the rear passenger really does have some nice luxury, but so does the driver. Let's start talking about the driver's environment now. So of course you're looking at the left side of the vehicle here. I'm just jumping on the vehicle for a second. I'm gonna put my feet here. I've got size 11 feet and you can see there is all kinds of space down here. So big feet, lots of space, no problem. You wanna have your feet out, wanna have your feet in, forward, back, whatever you want. You've got tons of room. A couple of the little details that you can see in the shot there. You've got some adjustability here. You've got some wind deflector areas there. So it's guiding all of the wind and water. You can see it keeps everything away there. So right away, your comfort is good just because of where you can sit with your feet. But let's move into the controls and see how much control you have of this vehicle and all the things you can do with it that are quite easy to work actually. So these are the left side controls, and this is a decent, like very busy shot, but I think I'm trying to zoom in a little extra to try to give you, again, some details I wouldn't be able to give you if I was riding the vehicle. So right away you have this little trigger over here. That is how you're gonna turn on your high beams. You can lock them on by pressing them on, and then in the default spot where it sits, it's just on, and you can of course flash to pass. There's no trigger or no hand lever here at all. There is a trigger which moves your gear shift there, which you can just see I move with my finger, and then I can move with my thumb. Now remember, you can upshift manually. That's what you have to do, is you have to choose your own upshift times, no clutch, no nothing, and you can choose to downshift. So if you were going to pass somebody and you wanted to downshift, you could drop a couple of gears from 6th to 4th, give it the gas and keep going. But if you only upshift, you can allow the vehicle to downshift on its own. So it's that semi-automatic transmission. People have asked me, why not a fully automatic transmission? I still haven't asked that question, so I will try to find out why they've chosen to go with this. I kind of like the driver engagement of this. You're still involved, you're still choosing your gears, but again, on a long trip, if you stop through towns or that kind of thing, you're not balancing a clutch on a bigger vehicle, anything like that. It kind of makes it nice and easy, because a lot of time on these bigger bikes, that clutch can be quite heavy. So again, having no clutch is nice. And then you see a number of controls in here, some volume button up and down here, the different track kind of button there. You have a microphone here, OK button with an up and down, settings icons here, other icons here to change some of your dash, going back on the menus, signal down here, and horn. So if you're familiar with a motorcycle, you got your signals and horn in the right spot, trigger and thumb for your gear shifts, and trigger over here for your lights and controls, and then the ones above all of that all have to do with the dash. Now the dash is touchscreen, which works with gloves as well. We're going to show you that right now as well. All right, so we're literally doing everything that we could do wrong right now. We're filming a 10¼ inch screen outside right now, and in a lot of glare, and of course even filming a screen, they never film like they do properly. So you can see here as it comes on, even though you were looking at it outside, you can see that Can-Am logo come up. You can see some other things coming around here as well, and it is a, I understand, go to the safety card, so you have that to hit right there as well, and then you have to roll the throttle back for a second and you get into the dash. Now the dash, you can invert the colors. Because we're sitting out here in daylight, it is white in color, and you could switch this. So again, on that screen itself, you can't see everything. Because we're filming, you can't see everything perfectly, but there's lots of things you can rotate through here. So there's a normal eco mode over on the right-hand side. You can swip through some of those things. And then there's also this button over here. You have your media up top, your radio, your statistics. I kind of like going through this, so let's just choose that for a second. You can see average speed, duration, distance. There's a number of things you can go through in this. And of course, your speedometer stays on the left-hand side. You can throw maps up there. This is also Apple CarPlay compatible. I don't know why it's not Android Auto compatible. That's not an answer I have yet, but it is Apple CarPlay compatible, not Android Auto compatible, but you can throw maps up there. So again, really nice screen, and of course it is a touch screen as well, so I can, actually there's nothing to touch on this particular screen. Let's go back to another screen here, and we'll show you the touch screen capability. 1 second. All right, quick little edit here because I was walking around from the camera to the vehicle itself. So we'll just turn the bike on again just to show you touchscreen compatible. Again, I don't have my iPhone connected up to this, so I wouldn't be able to show you. But again, the nice thing with having a touchscreen and Apple CarPlay compatibility is it's very familiar to you if you use CarPlay in your other vehicles. But as I said, go to safety there. I can hit the X up here, hit the safety car there. So you can see it is touchscreen compatible. Again, roll the throttle a little bit forward and you get to your dash there. So again, very easy to control. But there's one key piece to this vehicle that makes it great for touring, and that's the luggage. Let's take a look at that right now. So of course, if you were looking at a touring motorcycle, you would want some luggage. There's a simple handle here, out of the way, easy to reach. You can see it's a soft open type system there, so it doesn't come crashing down. What I like about this is you can get Can-Am accessory bags that fit in here, but even if you don't get them, if you had stuff jam-packed in here and it was to fall out when you open it, it's gonna fall out on your lid. One little secret to closing these that I like to do is just use your hip to kind of push it that last little bit shut. That kind of works for me. You can give it a little bit of a slam there as well. But that's the side compartment. There's two of those, one on each side. And then of course there is this top case as well. Now I mentioned that top case is removable. Let's take a quick look at that. All right, I know it's still a little noisy here. We're working next to some truck repair station here, but I wanted to be outside in the beautiful sunshine today. Let's take a look at the back of the vehicle. You can see you've got the side lights there. You've got the big, you can't even see the tire from this angle. That's all mud flap. There's just the little ripples on the bottom of the last millimeter of space that you're seeing there. Sort of a dual exhaust out the side there. And you can kind of see, if you're careful, you can see the belt drive. Belt drive, of course, means less maintenance. On a touring machine, you're not gonna want a chain. You're not gonna want that kind of maintenance. So again, simple stuff here. You've got the sort of 3-level lights here. So on the side as well as the top center light. And again, that's a lot more familiar to car drivers as a car. So again, lots of light on the back of the unit. Let's come a little closer. Again, we can see how that would be, how you could take that unit off. You can sort of see what's left there for the body line. Let's come in a little closer as we open up that top case. All right, coming into this top case, one thing you can't see right now, I just can't get it to film perfectly. You can sort of see when I zoom in, the metallic paint on this is absolutely beautiful. So again, all these things are not showing well on camera. You have to kind of see them yourself. We're gonna press in on this little piece there, and then you can lift it up. As you do that, you can see there's a lot of space in here. A couple things worth noting, there is a little dual USB port up here. So you have the USB-A, not USB-C, so the traditional older style USB labels there. I'm gonna take these out and you can see the space in here. As we come a little closer, I'm gonna stay with the same shot. Excuse my poor camera work. I'm just gonna kind of move this in a little bit. So again, USB-A, there's a light up there as well, a little LED light, and you can see down here, that is a rubberized kind of floor mat in here, which is nice to have to just clean that out. And of course, there's the way to take this off. You can spin that and keep it unlocked on. The benefit with taking this off is you can customize some other pieces that go in here. This is all part of the Link system, L-I-N-Q. Can-Am has 1,000 accessories for the Link system that works on snowmobiles, that work on their boats, their Sea-Doos, everything, including this. So there's a lot of cargo style boxes. If you wanted a square box to hold a specific thing, or maybe you had something special in there, oftentimes there's exactly what you would need that could clip into something like this as well. So that Link system is really extensive, and you have that ability here. So it's pretty big in here, but there's an extra sort of piece on this that is really setting it apart from the traditional motorcycle. Let me show you that right now. All right, if you are someone who looks for panel gaps, do not worry about panel gaps right now. I've already pre-popped this. So you can pop this using the key from the dash, and you can see in here, again, I'm gonna have to do some poor camera work to move in here. It's bright sunshine, it's gonna be hard to focus all the way in here. This is a massively deep front storage compartment, a frunk if you will, just like a Tesla kind of thing. And this is quite deep, like very, very deep. Now, one thing to note about the RT model, which is what this one is, first of all, the Sea to Sky has this nice little like carpeted liner with some extra pockets and that kind of thing in the front. But one thing to note with the RT compared to the F3, you can set the F3 up to be a touring rig, but you do have much less frunk space in that, and the Riker is really just a small little glove box space, nothing to use. Actually, the Riker, I don't even remember off the top of my head if it has that. You guys can correct me in the comments. These are things I should know before I say them. But it is massive in here, so you can fit almost like a typical carry-on type luggage piece in here. So all of this would be extra bonus storage that you don't get on a motorcycle that you do get here. And it really just gives you a lot of flexibility to take extra things along or to pick things up on your trip and take them home to, you know, friends and family. All right, so I'm sitting here on this vehicle with it running right now. Now I'm wearing a microphone. It does have some noise. I can tell you right now, that truck that was running about 100 meters away or 300 feet away, was a lot louder than this vehicle itself. This still has some noise to it, so you get that motorcycle type feel. Now I'm gonna show you the controls for a second. This is the windshield, so it was in the fully lowest position, and now it's in the highest position right there, so it does have some adjustment. Of course, you can get different style windshields if you want. The reason I've got it running right now is to show you the lighting setup. I'm gonna flash my high beams at you there right now, and I'm also gonna turn on my signal lights, which we could do actually just four-way flashers. So we'll do the four-way flasher there. There's your signal lights there. There's a lot of really just nice lighting on this. It's quality lighting, and that's one thing worth pointing out. So again, just to give you that sense of what it's like on and what it's like off, we'll turn the bike off right now, and you can see again, that noise drowns out. Again, I'm mic'd, not this. I want to show you just one more quick thing in the dash before we talk about who this vehicle's for and who it's not for as well. All right, you Sea to Sky experts. I know in Canada we have numbered highways. Is the Sea to Sky highway numbered 99? Is that the reason for the 99? I'll be honest, I haven't looked into that exact logo. I probably, maybe I've read it and I forgot about it. So that's something that you guys can help me out in the comments with. I know there's a lot of experts on this thing out there. On a weird angle here, but I'm just trying to show you that you do have heated grips here for the rider. So again, driver and passenger have different heated grips, different settings, of course. You can set yours, sorry. I said grips, seat over here, heated grips over here. So again, rider and passenger have independent buttons for their own tastes. And this is how I was moving that windshield up and down electronically. So nice to have that. And that's all right below the ignition switch. Does have the standard key. If you've looked at a Riker before, the Riker has sort of like a Sea-Doo key, a totally different style. This is a more traditional key that sits right there in the middle. All right, let's talk about who this is for and who it's not for. So the easy thing is to rule out who this is not for. This is still for people who want the motorcycle-like experience. It's not a car. Some people have said, hey, I can get a Mazda Miata or I can get this. A Mazda Miata is not something that most people choose to tour in. It's a noisy car, it's a lot of fun and sporty. This is still fun and sporty as well, but it's a different vehicle, although it is open air. This is still very much motorcycle-like. So you have to be someone who appreciates motorcycling, and for me, that's exactly who I am. So why not get a Goldwing or a BMW or a Harley Davidson or all those other things? Well, first of all, if that's what you want, then this might not be for you. For me, I'm a motorcyclist even more than a car guy, and I'm still a car guy myself. This is what I would choose for touring places over a car, over other things. You could take two people with comfort. It really is very comfortable. It's probably more comfortable to sit on this than it is to sit in most cars for long stretches at a time. You've got a lot of luggage here, here, there, and that front storage space. So you can, you know, as long as you're minimalist type, motorcyclist type packing, you've got far more luggage than you would need in a typical motorcycle tour, a lot more space. And you can tow a trailer with this. It's rated to do that. So you can tow a small trailer. There's even a Can-Am trailer you can tow with this. And there's all kinds of accessories to put in this. Now the Sea to Sky Highway does give you a couple extra speakers here that you don't get on the lower trim levels. It does give you the extra seats and the extra armrests, backrests and that kind of thing. So you do step up here. So why go with the Sea to Sky first of all? Well, the Sea to Sky to me kind of makes sense. I would have thought I would go for the mid-level because the lowest level does not include the RT. That's what this is. Lowest level does not include this box here. To me, if you're gonna get this in the RT, not the F3, you want the box. I love the big footrest and that kind of thing, but you move up to the mid-level to get the box. You can add that as an accessory to the lower level, but I would want that. So I'm already at the mid-level. And then for me, it's still a lot of money, and if I'm gonna spend a lot of money, you know, you may get a couple accessories on that one. You're basically at this price anyways. Why not get this one? This one looks like $1 million. It looks like a really high-end rig. It is something that you can take pride and ownership in, and it will get you everywhere. So for me, when I get into that large motorcycle, it kind of takes some of the fun out of motorcycling where this still keeps all of the fun in. You can really drive around corners, let it handle, let it have some fun, but it also cruises all day in total comfort, and that's what this is made for. And that's the other thing, again, that height adjustable suspension, as it's loaded down, it's gonna level itself off a little bit, and that allows you to have that comfortable long ride with amazing scenery. And although this is a cool machine, the point of having this machine is to dream about your trips, to dream about going on that Sea to Sky highway. That's what this is made for. That's why I would buy it. That's probably why you would buy it. So if you have one of these, let me know in the comments below why you love it. If you have a Sea to Sky, I'd love to hear your trips, some of the places you've gone with that. Let me know in the comments. Let's fill the comments, share this with friends. Do me a favor, help this spread. The more you spread it, the more access I get to these kinds of vehicles. The more they see these things work for them, the more I get to spend time with them, and I love spending time with them. So thanks everyone for watching. Again, filming at Extreme Torque Motorsports. If you're in New Brunswick, there's 3 locations. They can take care of you. I always film at the Fredericton one because it's close to home for me and it works. So give them an extra visit. They are super knowledgeable. I know that some Can-Am feedback I've had from all over the world, they say, oh, you know, they're okay. I can tell you these guys are phenomenal here. So yeah, give the video a like, give them a little thumbs up as well, and we'll catch you in the next one.